Welcome to Chalk&Champagne, the podcast where we tell the truth about education.
After the bell rings. We're two black women, educators, leaders, and school owners who've lived every side of this work.
This space is for educators, parents, and anybody wanting the real about what's happening inside schools.
We're talking burnout, leadership, boundaries, advocacy, all the things people whisper about in the staff lounge.
We love kids deeply,
but we're not going to lie to you.
So grab your wine,
or better yet, upgrade your taste.
Grab your champagne,
and let's get into it.
What's up, Toya?
Hey, Shay.
What's
what you
going
doing?
on?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I see this pink. You looking good in this pink.
And you got on green. Are we trying to represent something today?
A little whoop-de-doop. The first and the finest, the best you'd ever seen.
The first. 1908.
The pink and mean green. So, how was your weekend?
It was good. What did I do this weekend? I didn't.
Football.
Okay, football. Yes, that was my life. And then, what else? I did go to a Kappa party.
Was it fun?
Saturday. It was.
Shout out to the Kappas.
The rooftop.
Ooh,
it was
nice weather.
It was nice weather. Then it got chilly outside. But I got my hair braided.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Oh my gosh. So this is like my second time with color. So
I like it.
got to grow on me. But I wanted to do something different because it's the summertime. And I'm like, okay, let me put some color inside my hair, you know.
I like it. It's very cute. Very cute.
And I got it because I'm ready, to work out some more.
Yeah.
And I can't work.
Some more. I'm with it. I'm with it. You be up. Let me tell y'all something. She be up. and the nerve to call sometimes, but she be up.
I don't. I wait till at least 8 o'clock.
And that's crazy because I'm in the bed till about 8:17.
By 8 o'clock, I'd have worked out. I'd have cooked RJ some breakfast. I'd have dropped him off. I'm stopping at the school. I'm going to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I have fend for yourself mornings in my house, and but they listen.
But she'll go to the gym at 7 at night. I'm like, girl, I'm not going. If I don't go. Don't tell my business. Don't tell my business.
Yeah.
I'm winding down. I'm sitting on the patio having some wine. But whatever.
I love it.
How was your weekend, though? What you do?
My baby had a soccer tournament. She won. Her team won. They did a great job. Played a team from mid-Missouri. She's a goalie, so it's a stressful position because she feels like sometimes when she give up goals and they lose, that she's
Kudos, Corey.
I know she's the problem. However, it's a team. We got to work together as a team. I can see how she can own that. So I did soccer girl Friday, Saturday, Sunday, cool time. And that was it. I cleaned my carpet.
You didn't go.
Friday I did go out.
Okay.
Yep. Saturday I was in the house, cleaned my carpet, put some new chairs in there. Cheers.
Shut up.
This is how she say cheers. Cheers. Put some new cheers in there. St. Louis.
St. Louis. She's not from St. Louis. Okay, by the way,
cheers.
So she talk about the way I say cheer.
Cheer. See? I heard it. And it was unprovoked. So did all that good stuff. So yeah.
You well rested for the week and
I'm ready. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That's good. I'm ready too. I mean, I can use a nap, but other than that, I'm ready, for this weekend. I don't got nothing planned too much, but...
Me either.
You know what? I forgot. I did go have some drinks with some girlfriends this past weekend. And you know what they was talking about, which I think is something good that I noticed, but we have not really discussed this. I don't know if you discussed it in your friend groups, or between me and you over the phone. You know how guys sometimes... No, I mean, girls sometimes, in the past, in your younger days, you'll date a gold digger. I mean, you are the gold digger. You want to date somebody with some money, right? I've been hearing from different friendships, experiences, dudes are on that bandwagon now. They are really dating, I guess call themselves dating up. They want somebody with some money and things like that to see what they benefit from or what. I don't know. What does that look like? Or have you had those conversations in your friend group?
I have sent a few memes or reels or whatever about men comparing them playing like they the woman, hey, my bills are due, text joking though. It's joking to see what they would respond back with. So basically texting the girl some stuff that they have been texted texted the girl. I'm not literacy. The girl that has texted them in the past about hey, I got a light bill due. You think you can help with that? Joking though, just to see what their response would be because women do it. I don't. That's not my ministry. That's not my ministry. But I have seen like some funny little stories about men just seeing what they can, what girls
men
would
are
say
really
back.
out here for real dating a woman just to see what they can get.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. If it worked, then more power to you. But it ain't gonna work over here. But I mean, people say they want equity. People say they want. I believe in a few gender roles, but people say they want equity. People say they want, fair playing field, all this kind of stuff. Until it comes to stuff like this, until it doesn't, baby benefit.
I guess just the gender roles changed then, because we're used to women doing it, but now men. I remember I was dating somebody and he was like, he came over. He was like, "Ooh, you're rich."
Rich is crazy.
I stopped dating him. Like I was like, "No, I don't even want to date you." Or one time he took me to a good restaurant. He was like, "Well, when you taking me?" I was like, "See,
nowhere."
Men really think they're the prize, though.
Yeah. No, they do. They do have a little bit of a prize mentality, though. It's like, okay, well, you could be a great person. And maybe you are a prize to some.
And I do agree with, taking your guy out. That's your man and you treating, but you automatically coming in my life and thinking you're the prize.
Yeah,
no,
it's
I'm
crazy.
the prize.
It's a little bit of a, the trait that some women have. I'm the prize, the princess. So men and women can't be both princesses. That's how I feel about it. You got to pick. Flip a coin. Who going to be the princess today? That's a good question, though.
Yep. So what's going on today? What are we talking about?
Okay, so episode title, we're talking about this one's for the parents. So parents, this one's for you. We're talking about advocating, partnering with your schools and advocating for your child effectively.
And the key word was partnering with your schools.
Partnering. Not being. Why'd you say that? Let me ask you that. Why'd you say that?
Because oftentimes, parents want to come in and want to be against the school or the system itself. And sometimes they have valid reasons. I'm not going to say they don't, but it's the way you show up and how you show up. So you got to remember it's a partnership. But if you got all your data points, but it's the way you communicate those things.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. So, essentially, parents play a critical role in student success. Effective advocacy requires partnership. That's that word. Trust and realistic expectations. Supporting teachers while advocating for your child creates better outcomes and eliminates some conflict and entitlement. So, question: Have you ever had a parent that just showed up loud and wrong?
I mean, all the time. Like, we can go from when I was teaching, parents show up loud and wrong in different situations and things like that. But I want you guys to know we're not out here blaming parents for what they do. We're gonna show you guys how to appropriately show up for your child. But I remember oftentimes when I was in elementary and parents would get so mad about a kid not being able to participate on a field trip. And it's like, oh, that's why you mad, but I know for a fact this teacher been calling, or this child been in detention, Saturday detention, or this child is failing this grade or this subject, and you're mad about a field trip. And I get it, because it's something that's fun and you want your child to participate, but how can we show up differently instead of going off or cursing or doing this, you know what I'm saying? So it's about communication. I think sometimes some teachers lack that, though. Like, they wait till the last minute to communicate with the parent, probably because they're scared or things like that.
That's a good point.
It's how the teacher as well. So don't forget about the teacher. It's like, what did the teacher do, or how did the teacher come off to this parent?
Yeah, that's a good point.
From parents, we're emotional. So I put myself in a situation because I am that parent who's always emotional when it comes to RJ. But I'm never the parent who think the teacher is lying. Like, so I put my
professional... maybe because you're an educator, though.
Yeah. So I know the teacher is telling the truth, but to what extent?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how could it look for Robert?
Because sometimes kids will come home, kids all the way up to high school kids. If you're still talking with your high school kids, I of course would recommend it, just because you can know what's going on, keep your ear to the streets and all of those things. But sometimes it's half truths, right? Like, sometimes kids want you to, support them, act on their behalf, and they don't know how to see the other side of the coin. So when parents show up, I say loud and wrong. That's going to be probably what I keep saying. Loud and wrong it's more about you need to hear the other side of the story. And
You
so,
do.
yeah, and so you said something about teachers maybe waiting to the last minute. There's been instances, for example, in I guess in high school too, but more so like elementary school, middle school, where we're as teachers we're expected to send progress reports, or a parent should not wait to parent teacher conferences to know that their kid is failing a class. They should have already known that before they showed up in that seat.
I should not have to ask how my child is doing.
But you should ask how you you shouldn't have to.
No, what I mean, I should not have to ask how my child is doing in order for you to do something about it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you with
like, that's what I mean.
I'm with you with that.
Like, you should already be in contact with me and things like that. Things teachers, sometimes they're overworked, but it has to be systems in place to know, like, hey, prior to this progress report, is the parent able to go online to look at this child's grade? And are you going online to look at your kid's grade? Because sometimes kids lie, and we know they lie, right? So they can not be in trouble. But what does this advocacy actually supposed to look like, and are we doing it effectively?
And the other part of that is being realistic. I know who Kendall and Corey is. You know who RJ is.
Yeah.
So if a teacher tell me like something about their personality that caused conflict in the class, it's like, you probably did that issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have to be. I would say to parents, like, be realistic about your child. If it's something super outlandish, and sometimes kids at home are not the same kids.
Oh, they're not.
When they go to school. So you may be surprised on the report that you get. You like, my kid, I've been like that. Like, my kid, they did that? You know what I'm saying? So being mindful about that,
yes,
too.
we want to make sure that you're not creating tension inside that school system or inside that classroom, because you never want to create tension. But I do understand sometimes, I had a situation, I can use RJ. He felt like this teacher did not like him, right? I remember talking about different things, having meetings, parent meetings, but he waited until the end of the summer to give me a lot of more details, because he know I show up, and I show up differently, right? But I don't show up like that. I'm very professional, but no, like, I come with data points, like, on this day this happened, this day this happened, like, what was the solution, or why I wasn't called, or things like that. But he waited, and it kind of hurt me. It's like, well, why did you wait?
Yeah, I could have got in front of it.
Yeah, like, son, don't ever wait. And I think sometimes kids wait because they don't want to. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly, but we gotta.
Just a little nervous, because if I tell on a teacher, they may say that one thing I did wrong in class,
and that teacher might dislike me for the rest of the school year. And like, we don't want kids feeling like that either.
Yeah.
So if you're advocating for your kid at school, make sure you're doing it effectively. Have you ever experienced something like that, or seen, like, what is something that you remember, or it don't even have to be when you was teaching? What about at your preschool, like?
Yeah. I will say, yes, I have, where it essentially hasn't been full facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we come guns blazing, like you said, for our children. And with younger children, like pre-K, it's a little different because they're not as vocal and verbal as elementary, middle school students. So parents will ask questions. Parents will observe something that's like not quite what it was, or whatever the case may be. And then they'll bring it to assistant director, myself, whatever. And then I'll explain it to them, explain to them what is going on and what has transpired. I will say, though, verbal or vocal children, you need to listen to your kid. Not you, but you know what I'm saying? I would say listen to your children, because they're not making it up, but how the story happened in their head may not be truly how it happened, but something did happen. And so I just want to say that out loud, because a third grader's perspective of a teacher not liking them this is Corey, made her go to the back of the line because she stepped on the back of the teacher's heel. It's like, could you have in that moment say, hey, slow down, watch what you're doing, pay attention? To Corey, I got in trouble. Line placement is very important to children at the early age. Being a line leader, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big deal to her. She could not wait to come home and tell me. So what I did was, hey, dear such and such, or good afternoon, or whatever I said, salutations, grand rising, whatever. You know how y'all get. To
and I always start with a greeting.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, Corey told me exactly what Corey told me. I know that there's another side to this. Can you please shine some light on what actually happened? So
you actually sent the email follow-up.
Yeah.
For clarification, instead of going up to that building,
and my bonnet,
things like that. Parents don't go up there in your
In your
bonnet.
bonnet, y'all.
Yes.
I mean,
And it's a way that, like, start with chain of command. Like, before
good
you
point.
go, I don't like to see parents go straight to the principal. Like, never go straight to the principal. Try to have a
First line is
communication with the teacher to actually see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a repeated thing that keeps going on and you feel like you're not getting any type of solutions, that's when you take it a next step.
Correct.
But you want to always put things in writing.
Yeah. Just so you know, yeah. And
Yeah,
so,
track
yeah, and it's very important. For the teacher's sake, I've talked to you about this. I would say email parents and call parents, if there's a conflict in the classroom, and say, I'll follow up with a phone call during my plan.
And then after you get off that phone call, per our conversation,
recap it.
You want to always recap because you want to have data.
Yeah, and I don't want to infuse, dear Lord, dear
What's wrong with you today?
Confuse advocacy with entitlement. I think sometimes some parents feel like they're entitled. Their kid is bigger than the program.
And I think that's that emotional piece.
Yeah.
Like, take that emotional piece, because I get it. We all love our kids, right? That's our baby. Like, can't nobody tell me about my child, and I love my child. But at the same time, your child is in this classroom or in this building 7 hours every single day.
Yeah.
So they have a relationship. We hope that they have a relationship with your kid. However, like Toya mentioned, your kid is going to be different at home. I mean, from home to school.
Yeah.
And so you want to get clarity instead of just always like, you said this or you said that. And like, we don't want to act like that. But what the kid is coming home can be valid and it can be true, but how are you going to show up?
Yeah. And and pipe down a little bit, if you do show up, I think we talked last week or one of the episodes and a few times, like the teacher got past the office and went straight to the classroom.
Yeah. Had cases like that before.
Yeah. So like, just be mindful. Safety of course is a concern, because the teacher could could clap back at, like, you're running up on somebody who could be a real one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you just don't want to. You don't want to be in that situation where you haven't even gotten the full story and you are turned up on somebody. So
basically what you're saying is, parents, you got to advocate. Do not advocate without the full context.
Yeah.
Don't allow emotions to lead without getting the facts. Like, you want to have the full context.
Yep.
And I know emotions get the best of us, and it has me in the past.
Yeah, me too.
But I still try to remember, okay, let me calm down and actually see what happened.
Yeah.
And we know sometimes kids come home and fabricate, but teachers fabricate too. So there's been times the teacher will lie about a situation. You did what you did, Ms. Jones.
You did.
Like,
shout out to Ms. Jones. Do better.
No, don't shout out.
Oh,
like, you
that was a real
something.
person. Okay.
I mean, probably is Ms. Jones. Are you watching? No, I'm just playing.
Say sorry.
But no.
I think that, and another point is communication can break down quickly when there is conflict.
Yeah.
So if you're calm as a parent, I'm calm as a teacher, we can get to a solution.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10 parents, if you are active and involved as much as you can be, we know work hours get into it, come into play. Send an email at midnight. They're not gonna check it till they get to school, but get it off your chest. Even if you have to, whenever you can take a break at your job, that whatever time it is, but. We're gonna as teachers advocate and do what's best for all children, but it's very important to hear from you as a parent.
And you said send an email, and sometimes our parents may feel like they may not know how to write effectively. Use AI, like talk it in AI and be like, hey, I'm really frustrated today. How can I draft this email very professionally, but I send a tone that I'm upset, I'm not happy. Use AI to help you draft up this email so it's always professional.
Yeah. And that's very important, because if I'm reading it and you sound like you're going off on me, I'm wait 24 hours to respond on purpose. Yeah. And then I might get back with you too with some facts, and then what? So I agree with that. Yeah.
And then if you can, go inside the classroom and observe to actually see what's going on, that would be good.
Have you ever invited a parent to observe their child in your classroom?
Yeah, all the time.
Me too.
I always had an open
Me
door
too.
policy
Me too.
because I wasn't hiding anything.
Yeah, and that kid was on their best behavior. So then what I started doing was telling them to look through the glass.
Not the glass.
Yeah, look through the glass. Do not open this door because they're going to see you and they're not going to cut up. I would say, here's the line. Like, are you advocating for your child's needs, or are you expecting exceptions that aren't sustainable? So I would just keep in mind, like, what it is you're asking for versus what a school or a teacher may be able to do.
Because asking for support is valid, demanding unrealistic accommodations is where things shift. So we want to be realistic.
Yes.
Like, I know you allow this child to do these things at home, but they're not at home, Cynthia. Like, let's be realistic.
What up, Cynthia?
When you're advocating, just always do it on a professional basis. I know you're upset, and sometimes you have the right to be upset. I'm not taking that from you, but how are you showing up? Just always remember you want to communicate effectively. It's okay for you to wait a day or two before sending that email. You calm down. If you feel like your child is failing and they're not doing anything, that could look different. Like, have they put a care plan in place? Have they care teamed your child? Or what interventions are in place? And we'll talk about different things in the next episode about different things, how, a kid that's failing, what that can look like as far as advocacy and things like that. We could be specific in that, or like behavior. It's one or two things: behavior or academics. Which one is it that you're upset about, and what would that look like?
And I will offer as a parent, what supports can you do? So as a team, this is what I'm going to do at home, and this is whatever we come up with. What you can do as a teacher in school. You know what I'm saying? Call me. I've had parents say, call me when it's happening.
But teachers, yes. I'm like, don't wait to call about RJ being a class clown, because he is every grade level. They tell me at parent-teacher conference, he's really funny, but he do it at the wrong times. And I'll be like, Robert, I've been getting this since you was in kindergarten. Like, he have a sense of humor and I don't have it, right? He is funny, but baby, do it at a different time. Like, for me, it's like, don't wait to tell me those things. So that's, if you're experiencing that as a parent, say, hey, can we do weekly check-ins or monthly check-ins so I can see how Sanaya is doing? As far as grades, like, don't wait till 6 or 9 weeks. There's typically 8 weeks to 9 weeks in a quarter, and you get a new grade level, depending on what district you in, things like that. But don't wait 8 weeks. Do a check-in every 3 to 4 or 5 weeks to see how your child is doing. That would calm down on emotions as well, too.
And I would say, teachers, if you can, run a report, send it out to the parents. You can even only send it out to the ones that are struggling, just to cut down a little bit on time. So that way you can get ahead of any conversation that you have to have with parents about their student. And I will also say, before you do that, just come up with some quick solutions in your head that may, because a parent can ask or should ask, what do you propose happens? What do you propose I do, etc.? So just come up with some ideas on how you can support that student better, knowing now that you know that they're struggling in your classroom. Do they need to read 30 minutes a night? Do they need to do math facts? Do they need to practice reading comprehension questions?
But I'm the parent that's going to be like, well, what are you doing as the teacher to help my child? If he's struggling, what are you doing as the teacher? I'm going to do what I need to do at home, but I need to see what interventions in place that you have.
She's gonna say, ma'am, I dodge the paper that he throws at me, and when he throws the chair, I move out of the way. And
what happens when you're the teacher and you feel like the parent is not gonna do anything? So it's like, I'm not even finna call. Like, I'm not, like, those are true instances where that has happened before. Not in my situation, but
I would say still call. I mean, you got to give them a chance. You got to.
But if you know the parent is not gonna show up, do we still call?
You got to give them a chance. That one time you called, they might show up.
No, I agree with you, but you have teachers out there who's not going to do it.
Yep, because I had his brother last year, and he was cutting up in class, and his other brother cutting up now, and they ain't never show up, and they sent, call.
Yeah.
Yep, call. And then maybe, talk to your counselor, talk to the social worker.
Because you have resources. You should. You know, what do it look like? Do you need to email your principal if
Yeah, I'm really struggling really struggling getting in contact with this parent. Home visits, count and can do a whole lot. And we can keep going about all of the ways that we can support children. But I would say the idea or the truth is parent advocacy is necessary. but partnership is what makes it effective. And so just making sure that we are continuing partnering with our teachers, partnering with teachers partnering with parents partnering with teachers, and the school is resourceful. And so just making sure that we're using those resources to support our kids.
Right, because, when we have parents and teachers working together, that's a line for the student. Like, at the end of the day, what's best for your child, and you want to be on the same page. You might disagree, but remember, how can we work together for our kid?
I agree.
Yeah. Toast.
Let's cheers to that, to advocacy.
Advocacy.
That's good.
It is really good.
It's Chalk&Champagne.
Yeah, I want some. Wait. Before we get to the next thing.
My favorite segment. Go ahead.
I would like for you guys to be at home sipping with us as well. Like, you should have some champagne. We want to feel like you are part of our studio. We need to give them a name.
I like that.
Like, what are our viewers' name? Like, I like that. Like, that just came to me. If we don't have it by today,
we'll have one for next.
We'll have one for next episode, and we're gonna give you guys a name. I hope you guys are, you're following all our socials.
Yep, I like that. Instagram, Chalk_Champagne. So follow us. We'll give you a name next episode, like Shay said. All right. So
what's going on? What we got next?
All right. So it is.
What is it, girl?
Time for Shay's Class Clown of the Day. So Shay's very, very creative in throwing a little couple. I've said this before, but throwing a couple of twists and turns in the Shay's Class Clown of the Day. And I told y'all last week before, whatever, I don't read these or I don't know what's going on. So it's still my favorite segment. It always has been, the toast and the champagne toast to Miss Johnson. Was it Miss Johnson
we
last
did it,
week?
yes.
Positive office referral. So what do you have for us today?
So, this is where we highlight the mess, the moments, and the things that make you say, now, why would you do that?
Whether it's a teacher, a parent, or the system itself.
So, we're going to highlight something, but it's going to be good. Like, instead of sending someone to the office for bad behavior, we're sending them for amazing. So, it's time for our positive office referral.
I like that. I used to do that with my kids.
Yeah, so we have a positive office referral because, sometimes our kids or teachers are going in the office for bad things. So
send them to the office for good things and call their name over the intercom. This is the intercom.
So this is the kind of referral we love to see. So today's shout out goes to Jaden Carter, and I'm hot, you guys. That champagne.
What Jaden do?
Jaden, okay, you're gonna like this one. Okay, I know you can probably relate, and you guys can relate at home. Now, earlier this year, Jaden was struggling. We're talking about incomplete assignments, the walking out the class, and not really being engaged. Teachers were really, really concerned. And let's be real, we all had a student like Jaden Carter. Like, everybody can relate. You had a Jaden, whether in 10th grade, kindergarten, first grade.
To that.
And but something changed for Jaden. Whether it was a teacher who didn't give up, a conversation that clicked, or Jaden deciding for himself to turn it around. And when we say turn around, we mean completely. Assignments getting turned in, participating in class, showing respect, even encouraging other students. Like,
That's good.
Yes. The growth that takes effort. He took accountability. So we want to shout out, and today we're going to celebrate Jaden Carter for turning around.
I like that. When kids, so that's one of those things, like, and I'm glad you did this. So when kids, sometimes they snap out of whatever they were in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they snap out of it. Maybe, somebody got on them at home. Maybe the teacher and the parent did not, give up on, rectifying these bad behaviors. Dear Lord.
It's okay because we're human and we're teachers, but we can make mistakes too.
Yeah.
I remember my son told me,
what did he say?
He was 5. He's like, Mama, you supposed to know everything. I said, why? He was like, because you're a teacher. I was like, no.
I don't know
I don't know everything,
I Google
baby.
a lot, and Chatina be helping me.
Yeah.
So, with those moments, like, I used to feel so good as a teacher to be like, yes, like, you finally got it. You only had one office referral this week.
But I think sometimes, whatever Jaden experienced, like why he was acting like this, or maybe sometimes kids don't have to experience anything at home. They just
Cut up.
They just cut up just to cut up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's times that they turn around. But, you know, parents, if you have a Jaden at home that's doing that at school, a child can turn around. Something that I'm really big that I do before we walk out the door, sometimes we're running late, I make sure RJ do it before. And you've been on the phone with me. Affirmations.
Yeah.
Say your affirmations.
Yeah.
And a child believing in themselves and saying affirmations can change. Like, my son is not a bad child at all, but I want him to say these affirmations because I want you to know who you are.
Yeah.
And maybe that was...
Maybe somebody did that for him.
Maybe somebody did that for him, you know, because it's been times where I had a Jaden, and
me too.
Jaden didn't act up like he did, but he was different in my room.
He tried it, but he was,
but by the end of a couple of years, 3 or 4 years later, you know, Jaden was changed.
Yeah, no, that's real. You know, kids, and I would say to teachers, parents, your kid can turn it around. You just have to be consistent with the message. That's it, the consistency with the message. I've had kids cut up in class and they come back with new clothes on. It's like, damn, like, how? Like, did you already... New shoes. It's like, so he can walk out of class again in some new shoes. So, you know, just consistent with the consequences. And I'm not saying go super hard on them, but they got to know when I do this, this is what happens. So, shout out to Jaden. I think that's a
so we're sending you to the office, Jaden, for this champagne. Well, we can't say champagne, Mom. You get your apple juice at home.
Shout out to Jaden Mama and Jaden Teacher, and you too, Jaden. But this champagne for adults.
This is a positive office referral for Jaden Carter. Good job, Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need stories like that.
I like
to see a kid change.
So that's a good point. So if you have a positive story that you want to talk about, a student, a teacher, just like last week, just anybody that's doing some things positive, or anybody that needs a class clown of the day, you know, you can share it to our Google or Gmail. Chalk.Champagne@gmail.com. You can send that in, you know, because every student has a turning point, and we're paying attention. So, you know, what would you do? If you have something, send it to us. A Blackboard confession, send it to us at Chalk.Champagne at Gmail.
All
right, speaking of Blackboard confession, hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Toya. I want to thank you all for watching our show. Before we get into the juicy mess of Blackboard confessions, I want you to subscribe to our show, Chalk and Champagne. So hit that like button, subscribe, share, tell your friends.
Now that's my favorite thing, and I don't read those. Like, I love Blackboard.
It's interesting. It's good though. Speaking of Blackboard confessions, you know what time it is, girlfriend. It's time for Blackboard confessions. So Blackboard Confessions is where teachers, parents, and students send in their real stories, anonymous, unfiltered, and a little messy, but always education-based.
Where the truth comes out.
No names, no schools.
Just honesty.
Unfiltered and unapologetic. All right.
So what we got today?
So this one, it's kind of flows. So we were talking about, students who or parents who can. We gave some parents some tips. We gave teachers some tips. All of those things. This was from a student. Let's Blackboard confession is from a student, and it's. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when I was making the slide, I be crying. So I was making the slide. It's just hard. I've seen these things. I've seen stories, but it's hard to hear a kid type about it. He's a junior in high school, so he's very clear in what happened,
okay.
And this is his perspective because that's what happened to him. So this one is from a junior, and I won't say children's names. A junior at a high school in Phoenix, Arizona. So shout out Phoenix. And by now, everybody thinks, so this is a junior. So by now, everyone thinks they know me. I'm the loud one, the one who gets sent out, the one teachers warn other teachers about before I even walk into the room. I joke too much. I don't sit still. I say whatever comes to my mind, and it looks like I don't care. But what nobody sees is what I walk in with every morning. I don't wake up to calm. I wake up to noise, or sometimes silence that feels worse. My mom works nights, so she's barely there when I'm leaving. My brother's in and out, and when he's there, he's not always peaceful. Some nights it's arguing. doors slamming, people saying things they don't take back. Other nights it's just tension sitting in the room like nobody wants to say the wrong thing. I don't even know if there's food when I come home, or sometimes I come home and the lights aren't on. And I'm not sure what kind of day it's going to be before I get to school. So when I get to class, I'm already full. Things that I didn't say, I'm stressed out. Everything I had to hear, everything I'm trying not to think about, the fights that my mom and my brother had, and sitting feels hard to do. It feels fake. Being quiet feels like I'm holding too much in, so I have a lot to say. So yeah, I talk, I laugh, I act out because I'm in control of something. I'm controlling something. When teachers tell me to be quiet or send me out, it don't even surprise me no more. It just feels like, yep, I'm the problem. I'm the problem at home. I'm the problem at school. But there was one time a teacher pulled me to the side and asked if I was good. Not in a fake way, like literally asked. I didn't know what to do with that. I laughed it off and made a joke because I said I was fine. I went back to being who everybody thought I was, the loud one, the disruptive one, etc. But home is the reason that I act like this, and no one ever asks. I know.
Ooh, that was a lot. I can see why you was crying.
I know.
And believe it or not, it's a lot of kids that go through that. Their home life might be messed up, and they do not know how to express that. Mm-hmm. And if you're a kid, or you parents, you know kids, or teachers, you know kids, that home life, typically we should be having the counselor involved. We should be having the social worker involved. Mm-hmm. But it's like, if you don't know,
you don't know who to involve.
You don't know who to involve, and like he's not saying he's been mistreated. So it's like, do we really need them involved? But evidently, it's something there because he's misbehaving at school, right? So he's lacking something. Maybe we need to put him in an extracurricular activity. Yeah. Maybe we need to put him in counseling and things like that, so he can restorative practice, use restorative practices with him, so his behavior can change, and he knows who he is, and you don't have to act like that. Yeah. But that's a lot of cases.
It's a lot of children. I was doing the other day. I was in a school. I'll say the school's name. U City. It was Pershing Elementary, and I was doing some just a map prep assembly with Karan Bowden. Shout out Karan. He's over there.
Yes, we love Karan.
Right, he's
Thank
over there.
you, Karan.
Say something. Say shout out. Say what's up, y'all.
Say something.
What's the word? Okay.
So I was doing some I tagged along on like one of his messages to the students. Yeah. So he started talking, and these are 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. So not the first thing he said, but one of the things he said in his speech about just doing your best. You may not, whatever, where you come from doesn't matter. I grew up in a house where my father wasn't active, and all you heard was, me too, me too, me too, me too. It was like 35 me too's, to the point where you're like, okay. So that's 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. You know what I'm saying?
These are boys that's going to grow up to become men.
Yep, and girls that are going to be looking for love. Yes. So,
and girls.
When you said it's a epidemic, essentially, where people are absent, or where second shift gets the best of the household, because you can't make money and be there. If you at the same time, you have to work, and you know what I'm saying, you just have to do it. So it's no fault.
A lot of parents are in survival mode.
Yeah, and it's no fault to the parent, but it's like, I have to keep a roof over our head, or they're going to take you. Yeah. But I can't be, all of the things. So what I would tell this student in Phoenix, I would find one trusted adult at your school, a teacher, a counselor, a coach, somebody you trust, and just let them in enough so you don't have to carry everything by yourself.
Especially if you don't have no food at home. I remember hearing that you said sometimes it's no dinner at home, and they have a lot of schools have different programs for kids who do not have food at home to eat. So you'll be surprised what type of resource, or go to your local library to see what they can offer. They offer a lot of great things. Your community. And it's okay to share your story, but like Toya said, with a trusted adult, so they can help you.
No, that's for real. There was a program I started. It was at a middle school here. It was called the blank backpack program. So what we would do is I would go shopping every Thursday or Friday, and then we would have students come pick up their backpacks filled with things that they could eat over the weekend, because sometimes the meals that they have are only the hot breakfasts that they get and the hot lunches that they get, and then it's fend for yourself for dinner.
Yeah.
So you think on the weekends they don't even get those 2 meals, so we try to pack their bags with things that
I remember things like that.
Yep. So I would say, when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, take a quick pause, step out, ask the teacher, like, hey, can I take a minute in the hallway? You in the 11th grade, soon to be in the 12th grade. Your teacher should be okay with you stepping out of the hallway to regain yourself, especially when you're advocating for yourself.
And then for the teacher, instead of leading with correction, take a moment to check in privately with students like that. And that helps build trust, because connection is very important. Like building a relationship with someone is very important. I remember I had a kid, she was misbehaving a lot. She was going through a lot. This was first grade, but she was going through so much. And I remember I built that trust with her. I remember doing her hair inside the classroom and putting a relaxer in her head. No, she didn't tell me everything. She didn't tell me any. I'm glad you said that. She did not tell me anything, but her behavior did change for me. But she was so disruptive. She would cry, like scream out of nowhere. I remember seeing the dad. Oh my gosh, the dad was fighting to get his kids. They was with him, but they weren't. He was going through the court trying to fight to get his kids. And I remember seeing him the next summer. I moved from that school. And he was like, Miss Foot, I found out why she was acting like that. And he told me something very confidential. And I just cried right then and there. Like, it was so sad, but it explained why she was doing what she was doing.
Every behavior is expressing some type of need.
It is.
Yeah. So I think it's up to the adults, because kids can't articulate that, and it shows up as behaviors.
It does.
Yep. So,
but I did what I had to do for that child. Like teachers, you gotta build that relationship, build that connection.
Yeah.
It's crazy because this confession does tie into things that we talked about today's episode, and we got some takeaways for you, for everybody who's watching. Advocacy is the most effective when it's informed and not emotional. So try to bring those tears down, take your emotions out of it. I know we all do that. We do it in relationships, in our friendships, in our relationships with our other parties and things like that. Our work relationships, we allow emotions to take the best of us. But sometimes, like, just sit in it, give it a day or two, process it before I send this email or before I go off. Like, emotions plays a big part, and then you can't take back what you said. So just think about it. And I know that's your kid. I understand. I love my baby just like you love yours, but try to remain professional and take the emotions out of it.
Good point. I would say teachers and parents must work in partnership, not opposition. As teachers, we are serving students, and as parents, we're serving your student. You know what I'm saying? So we have to work together. The common goal is to have students' achievement and just do better. That's the common goal, and that's what we're both
lifelong learners. Okay, well, how they gonna perform when they leave this high school? Like that's like, if we can be together, that partnership that we talked about earlier, like, we doing the best that we can for each and every child. And the last thing I would say, realistic expectations create better outcomes for everyone involved. Like, let's be realistic. Like, if they performing low, and they are reading below grade level, they're not going to be on grade level by the end of the year. But what can we do? Like, realistic expectations.
Yes, I like that. So that is the end of our episode. If this episode made you think, reflect, or feel seen, make sure you subscribe and share at the bottom of the screen.
And send this to someone in education who needs to hear it.
So we'll be back with more conversations.
So until next time,
to Real Dialogue,
Chalk and Champagne. And do not forget to like and subscribe to Chalk and Champagne on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please do not forget, and we love to hear your story, so do not forget to DM us or email us.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, my ass hurt now.